When I decided that I was going to be professional and I started being serious about photography as a career, I went around to any professional photographer that I could find and I said, why are you successful? If you could say in a sentence or two, what are the key elements that make you successful as a photographer, what would it be? And all the way across the board, it was business. All the way across the board. To be a good professional, you have to take good pictures. That's the baseline. But the people that succeed are the ones that really focus on their business. When I went to college, I did study photography, but I also had another major in business, entrepreneurship. So I learned how to run my business. I learned how to do business plans. I learned about doing my taxes. I learned about finance. I learned about accounting. It's not necessary to get a business degree by any means, but the fact that I focused on what it took to start a business, I think is what got me here today. To be successful business-wise in photography, one of the major things you need to do is to network, and you need to find the right people that have the right knowledge to get you to the next steps. It's extremely important to find those people who are successful and network with them so that when you have questions, you have a go-to person. That's the best thing that I can recommend. When I was deciding to be a professional photographer, I got an internship with a photographer based in Washington, D.C. Now, fundamentally, a lot of his work is handshake photography, or he shoots covers for business journals and magazines. He does a lot of event photography. I knew that wasn't what I was interested in, but I worked for him because he was the expert in business for photographers. So when I worked for him, I learned about contracts, how you should be having your bridal clients sign contracts, the contracts for late payment, about how to charge. It was fantastic because you need to figure out what shooting actually costs you. It is not just your time. It is not just the cost of products. It is the cost of if someday you want to retire and save. It is your health insurance. It is your insurance on your equipment. It's the cost of upgrading. You need new digital cameras every 3-4 years. It's the cost of getting a new computer every 3-4 years. It is the cost of all of those things put together. So working for this individual and focusing on business, I learned what I actually had to charge to make it as a professional photographer. And I think that's what goes wrong with a lot of beginning photographers, is they're trying to get in there, so they don't charge enough. But because they're putting their heart and soul into it and they're not making enough to survive, a lot of them fade away. They don't think that they can make it a career because they haven't really looked at what they need to charge. There's a million people out there who can snap a picture, but there are also a million people who can snap a picture and do it cheaper than you, because so many people these days are photographers, but it's their hobby, and they just like the fact that they can make money from it and feel good about themselves. So there's always going to be someone who will undercharge you, that will be able to have really low prices because they don't need to make a living off of it. They just do it for fun. So that can be discouraging, but that's why you take it a step further with your products, or you take it a step further with the marketing that you do or the services you offer, instead of just being that hobbyist that's just doing it for a little extra cash.